Welcome tonight. We're with one of my mentors. Tonight is a great show for me. We're kicking off one of our newest creations, the 702 podcast. And I'm blessed tonight to have one of my mentors. This gentleman here is someone who has been guiding me for 35 out of my 53 years that I have been on planet Earth. And I don't have words to describe who he is to me. So we want him to talk a little bit about himself and to talk about all of the wonderful things that he's been doing since I first met him in 1991. So tonight, for our first episode of our latest creation on the 702 podcast, we're blessed tonight to have one of my mentors, Coach Roland Ross Jr. from Christopher Newport University, born and raised in Norfolk, Virginia. Coach Ross played and is currently coaching. He's been at the university since 1977. And wouldn't you know it, his team was blessed enough this past season to win the Division III NCAA championship. They had a 30-3 winning record this past season. Coach Ross comes from a family of 5 in total, brothers and sisters, with Coach being the oldest. And so we're going to turn the mic over to him and welcome him in and give him a huge Milton Bell Global Media welcome. Coach Roland Ross, are you there with us, my brother?
Yes, sir. Good evening. How you doing, Mr. Bell? Thank you for thank you for having me. With an introduction like that, I don't know what to say. I need to let you keep talking. Maybe you say that I might be able to have some bigger contracts coming. But I've been blessed and fortunate to be coaching for a long period of time, and got a wonderful family. And our basketball program at Christopher Newport has had 4 coaches, and I've been a part of all regimes. And the most recent one, the last 13 years, we've got a young coach that came in with a lot of energy, and we've won over 80% of our games, and I think I've been a very valuable piece to the chemistry of the success of our programs. We do a lot of recruiting and scheduling, and what I'm most blessed with is that I have retained the relationships with a lot of the guys that have come through, and Milton being one of the biggest pieces that helped me recruit a young man back in 1990 that helped us win a couple championships. In the 21st century, it's a different type of kid than it was back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And I've had a great run and won over 700 games and been a part of over 1,000 games. And the game of basketball has taught me a whole lot of life lessons, and trying to team up with Milton and trying to be able to say some things of an encouraging fashion that will help this century kid understand that, I grew up in an era where they say winning was not the only thing, it was everything. And so I've been fortunate enough to win, and the game of basketball has taught me how to win in a lot of different arenas. I've got a beautiful family and lovely wife, and I think part of the success of my family would be coming from my wife was a phenomenal basketball player and an athlete, and she was a Division II All-American. So you can imagine the wars we have with who's the best basketball player in the house, but I'll leave that discussion for another day.
Coach, well, I call you Coach. Of course, you are one of the people, along with Coach John Thompson and several others, that I 100% give credit to saving my life. And so, just to give our listeners a brief overview of who Coach Ross is to me, I transferred from Georgetown in 1990. I transferred to Richmond to play, wound up just taking classes there, and decided to transfer elsewhere so that I could play quicker. And so one of the people who reached out to me was Coach Roland Ross. Reached out on behalf of Christopher Newport University, and I was in between schools but taking classes, trying to become NCAA eligible again after taking a year off, I think. And so the biggest thing that I remember, Coach, is even before I was signed to go to Norfolk, you were helping me as an African-American man, trying to help an African-American kid. At no point in time do I ever remember you saying, hey, you have to do this for the university. You would always say to me, you have to get these things in order for yourself. It's not about Norfolk State. It's not about Christopher Newport. It's not about any of these schools. You have to do what's necessary for you to become eligible. And that stuck with me. And so here we are, 30 years later. You and I have been blessed to be in a position to be able to call some of my mentors and ask for help and guidance in trying to lead this new generation, the 2020 pro basketball player that you and I are blessed to be able to help. You spoke a few minutes ago about the difference in the athlete from our era and in today's era. And Coach, I would love for you to share a little bit and to touch a little bit and to elaborate on what you mean by that. And by no means are we making a comparison between the two. We're simply stating how basketball and how the mentality of the basketball player has evolved, if you will.
Well, part of the evolution is societal's way of thinking, how success and everything is about money. And so what has happened is with the Europeans and the change of the game of basketball from just like with football, everything there is not considered like sports driven, it's more considered entertainment driven. And so you have a lot of kids that look at entertainment and they take the competitive sports out of it, and there's sports with an entertainment type of swag with it. Case in point, you used to play the game of basketball with a true point guard and a true shooting guard and